Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Genuine APBT. I want to thank all the regulars and the new subscribers to this channel. This video that you're watching here is the first video in a series that I want to do named the Game Dog Obedience Series. And what we'll do is we're going to take a look at Zephyr, an honest look at Zephyr, and see and navigate through his progress or his failures. When I first bought Zephyr and he started growing and he started getting a little bit older and he became about a year old, I didn't want to train him in obedience. I wanted to just work him out, and I wanted to have very general obedience, but I didn't want to do any formal training like I had done with some of my previous dogs. So at first I just wanted to work him out, and I wanted to show some feeding process and raw feeding stuff. And we're going to do that. We're going to do a 12 to 16 week in some later series of videos. But I do believe that as I started seeing Zephyr's progress as he was getting a little older, he's extremely intelligent. He's stubborn like a lot of American Pit Bull Terriers, but he's extremely, extremely intelligent. So like I said, I want to take an honest look at Zephyr. And here in the video, I want you to see where he's at now. He's 3.5 years old. And you can see him. He has zero obedience training. He has no formal leash or lead training. He'll pull side to side. He'll get on my left. He'll get on my right. He'll switch sides randomly, and he pays no attention to where I'm at. He just wants to go forward and pull. And that's okay, because that's what I've been doing with him on the pulling harness. He has some rudimentary or very, very general sit, maybe for a couple seconds. He'll leave it when I tell him leave it on, to leave the spring pull alone and to leave the flirt pull alone, and things like that. But absolutely no formal leash or lead training. He has no first command sit, which means that I want to train him formally on sit one time and then he sits, and no first command sit and stay for 20 to 30 seconds. And that's exactly what you're looking at here in the video. You can see that he's really just doing, in all fairness to him, he's just doing what any good dog, any good intelligent dog would do, because he hasn't had formal training and haven't invested that time with him. But I wanted to show you this video so you would get an idea where he's at right now. You've heard the expression, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I believe that's true with a lot of dogs, but I also believe that this breed, the American Pit Bull Terrier, is not your average run-of-the-mill dog. They are extremely intelligent, and that's what I want to do. I want to start with very general training. In my next video, you'll see that. But I do want to work him up to where he will show that he is intelligent enough to run with the big boys, the shepherds, and other dogs, military dogs. I think American Pit Bull Terriers are just as smart, and I want to try to prove that. So having said that, there will be some individual American Pit Bull Terriers that will excel faster and further than others. I don't know where Zephyr is going to end up, so let's see how he does. I'll post the second video in this series in about 2.5 to 4 weeks, and we're going to go over what he has learned, and most importantly, you'll see Zephyr's intelligence and progress. Remember, I want to be transparent and I want to be honest with Zephyr. As we breed him soon, I want to be able to show how intelligent he is. Along with that, with the intelligence, it's the human and love, and we've covered that in another video. And so you'll be able to see that for yourselves in these videos, how intelligent he really is, because video proof does not lie. Now, on another note, on a separate note, just really quick, be discerning. When you listen to some of the people speaking about American Pit Bull Terriers as if they have knowledge, if you're goofy enough to believe everything you hear, don't get one of these dogs. These dogs deserve owners that will do the research on their own way before you buy the dog. So please do the research. Some of the books that are instrumental, I think some of the books that are instrumental are the Stratton books, and they're probably 3 of them that you can get. This is the American Pit Bull Terrier, The World of the American Pit Bull Terrier, and the Book of the American Pit Bull Terrier. There's also T.L. Williams' Brayheart, Ed and Chris Farron, The Complete Game Dog, A Guide to Breeding and Raising American Pit Bulls, and then James Crenshaw, My Life and Times with the American Pit Bull Terrier. And I just want to give a shout out also for a lot of the good breeders that are out there. I have a list here, so I'm just going to go over them really quick. Kendrick Kennels, JR Kennels, Kev BLB Kennels, Ready Red Kennels, Thompson's Kennels, Bando for Life, Mayhem Kennels, RCK Bulldogs, 21 San Diego, Johnson's Kennels, Southern Triple J, and yes, even Seller American Bullies. The guy is doing a good job, and we need to recognize that. I'll have a video later on about the pendulum swinging too hard and too many people talking about, hey, these aren't pit bulls. We already know that. That's a decade ago, man. So move beyond that. I recognize him as a good breeder in his bully dogs. He doesn't call them pit bulls. He knows what he's doing. So, and of course, Stir Bent's Creations and Williamson's Kennels, Hooten's Kennels. Those are all good breeders. I recommend any of those guys. Those guys are doing a fantastic job with their dogs. So, yeah, very good. Now, just really, really quick, I will continue to pray for you and your baby, Kendrick's Kennels. You're not alone, brother. I'm going to be praying for you. I'm a born-again evangelical Christian, and when I say I'm going to pray for you, I mean that. So rest in Christ's love, man. And yeah, so I'm going to go over some of the equipment, and it's real basic, the stuff that I'm going to be using for Zephyr in this series. So this is the equipment that I plan on using when I train Zephyr. This is a 6-foot leather lead with a snap hook, good quality, good stitching. It's plenty strong, and it's about 12 years old, and this is what I use. The reason I use this instead of the rope lead that I use to work him out or train him, or walk him, is because you get a better feel for this. It's easy to maneuver, it's easier on your hand, and it's just something that I'm kind of used to. It's not any better than a rope lead, but you just get a better feel. I get a better feel. I'm used to it, and so that's good. And I'm going to use it with a slip chain. Many people call it a choke chain. It is necessary if you are going to train your dog in obedience, and you're going to train him with correction. Not positive reinforcement. I'm not a believer in dogs understanding positive reinforcement. I do pet him and I do congratulate him when he does well, but that's not the way to cause him to obey what you want him to obey. It is a correction. A mother will do that. A mother does not pick up the pup and set it aside and then lick it to let it know that it didn't want it to do a certain action. It picks it up from a certain action. It corrects it. It might even pick it up by an ear or by its skin on the back of its neck and toss it, a few inches or a foot or so. And the pup will understand that that action that he was doing was corrected, and he was stopped from doing that action. And that's what we use here. You want to correct him. So you use a slip chain. And obviously we know that you never ever leave one of these on your dog because they can choke themselves, and you never use it as a just normal collar. You don't want to do that. This is just purely for training purposes, and it's not to choke them. That's why I don't call them choke chains. It's simply to snap them and to get their attention. A lot of it's the sound. A lot of it's the sound and the little bit of pressure it puts on the entire neck. Don't fall for the whole, oh, it's sensitive to their esophagus and, their windpipe. No, that's if you're choking him, but that you'll see in the training videos that that's not what I'm going to do. It is simply to correct him. It's a simple, quick jerk, like flicking a towel and having the tip of the towel hit somebody, when you were playing around as a kid or whatever. It's the same thing. It's a flicking action to let him know that you want to stop that action that he's doing, and then you bring him back and you have him proceed. But we'll get to that in the other videos. There is a specific way to put this on, and I'll show it to you the best that I could. Say this is the dog's neck where my arm is. What you never want to do is you don't see the loop forming right there. The loop is forming. What you never want to do is have the top of the loop that's going down and it's going to go around the dog's neck like this. You never want to have the loop coming up over the neck and then tightening on your dog, because you see it stays tight. When you do the correction, the loop stays tight. You don't want that. You want the loop going on the bottom of the dog. You see the loop, how it's coming in from the bottom this way? And this is why you want that. If you have it positioned correctly, it's on the bottom, it's going to do its job, and then it's going to release as you release tension on your lead. So you're simply going up, and then you're coming down, up. See that? And then you're coming down. It's just a simple up. If I can do it on my wrist, I could do it all day on my wrist, and it's fine. And there's no way that my wrist is as durable as an American Pit Bull Terrier's neck. There's just no way. And if you think that, then please skip this video. This isn't for people that are hypersensitive, uneducated on dogs, that are just going to have an opinion and they're silly and they see this and they call it, oh, choke chain, that's animal abuse. No, it is not. It's completely legal. And the dogs that show up when a police officer shows up to your house with a canine unit, you can bet that they use these and prong collars and everything else to get that dog to be obedient. And that's what this is about. This is about getting your dog well managed, especially a true, well-bred, game-bred American Pit Bull Terrier. So again, you want the loop to go underneath and around the dog's neck so it can correct and down. Correct and down. You see that? All right. So that's it. That's all you really need for now, for the basic stuff that we're going to be showing. So just one more thing before I end this video. When you do decide to move forward in formal training, obedience training with your dog, it's going to stress them out a little bit because their natural behavior is just to do what they want. And so you're going to be restraining them and teaching them to do what you want the dog to do. So please develop a really good relationship with the dog that you're particularly going to train. Bond with him. So he can understand your commands, he can understand your body language, he can smell the chemical buildup in your body as you're training him. You need to develop this and you'll be able to have a much better result when you're doing your obedience training. So I want to thank everybody that watched this video. Thank you so much. And like always, know them, love them, and raise them responsibly.